Today I wanted to go over the growth, the self-growth that we are supposed to experience at the end of a relationship. Usually when it's the end, lots of negative things are said. People really empty all their negativity into you when you've reached the end. The loss of love, especially for kind people, is devastating all on its own, and all of those negative comments, feelings, some based out of jealousy, some are based out of hatred, some just blame to find somebody else that's wrong in the situation. All of it compiles into someone who's kind, and it adds into the weight of that stone we bear as the Sisyphuses of the world, rolling that up the hill. How do you find growth there when it feels like such a giant setback? You hear the antithesis of everything that you thought they loved. They loved your charismatic behaviors and how spontaneous you were. And then they get mad at you for not being more predictable. They love that you have this giant ball of light. And this is my favorite analogy because it suits me. I am a giant ball of light. I am this massive, just giant star in the sky. And it's beautiful. The energy is amazing. I've made myself that way over the years, and when people get too close, they're not strong enough and it burns. And so then I am no longer a star anymore to them. That light that's so bright becomes this giant nebula, this soul-sucking black hole that is never my reality. I am still a star. I will always be a star. But in those moments where they see that light and they want to touch it, but it just hurts too bad, people want to contain it. They want to make you smaller and smaller and smaller until the point where you fit their world. How much heat they can hold. How much weight they can bear. And it's not fair. It's not fair to have that light in my eyes dimmed out. I deserve someone who is going to stoke the fire in my eyes, who is going to want to be a star next to me. I don't need anybody to hold me up. I don't need anybody to tell me how bright I am. I want somebody to enjoy the light and be 100% comfortable standing next to me and watching me shine. Because that's what I'm going to do for them. I'm going to watch them shine on their own. I don't need to be part of it. I don't need to have my hand in that light. I don't need credit for the things that I do because I'm a kind person. That's how it works. So what I want to talk about today is about finding that light again when you've dimmed yourself down for someone. Because as much as you tell people all the time, don't ever dim yourself for someone else. Don't ever let that fire go out. You shouldn't have to dim it down. One of my favorite memes is to unfuck yourself. Basically, be the person you were before all the shit that dimmed your fucking shine. It's my absolute favorite. Because I shine. And I don't want to not shine. That is a lonely, terrible, horrible existence. I'm a shell of myself. So how do you get that shine back? You can't just wax on, wax off, and you're done. After, being married 11 years, we were together 15. I had to dig deep inside of myself because I didn't know who I was at that point. 15 years with the same person, I had to figure that out. I was no longer just Pepper. I was Pepper with someone else. I was an us. I was never an I. And now that I am me again, I can tell you that it was one of the hardest things I've had to do. You have to dig into yourself and you have to figure out what is it inside of you that you like, that you love, that you don't want to change. What is it inside of you that is broken and you need to fix it? And what inside of you is broken or not broken that you need to get rid of? It is hard to criticize yourself, break yourself down, analyze, but it is one of the best things you can do for yourself to figure out all the places you can grow, which cracks inside of you let the light in, and which cracks inside of you damage the structure of who you are. It is important to figure that out. It is important to know for yourself and for others, who are you? Who are you that you have all of these twisted little things inside of you that people love at first and grow to hate in the end? The things that they break down over time. I've had my fair share of narcissists in my life. That's a video for another day. But almost everybody has come in contact with a narcissist at some point that broke you down, made you question your self-worth, made you question your choices, made you question your thought process and whether or not your sanity was intact in the first place. I dealt with that for a long time. And I like that now I can see those red flags. I've done self-discovery. It wasn't easy. You have to break down who you are. But your house is crumbling anyway. Your house is falling to be stuck in the position that you're in. Why not take down those weak points, reinforce them, strengthen them while you can, before everything else falls with it? If you have a car and you need new tires because you're skidding across the road or you get a flat somewhere, might not be the easiest thing in the world to just come up with the money, go get some new tires, boom, voila, new tires, you're done. What if you rode around on that flat for a really long time? You're going to cause a lot more damage, a lot more, to yourself, to the people around you. You owe yourself the opportunity to dig inside of yourself and fix things. And self-growth is the best thing you can do. Every time I have a failed relationship or a friendship that goes awry, I wonder what I could do better. It doesn't mean I'm taking the blame into myself. It doesn't mean that I am saying I was in the wrong for the entire thing. I am simply stating that I want to learn. I want to grow. When I come out of this, I want to be a better version of who I am. I want to level up. I want to power up, however you want to do it. This is Mario's mushroom. This is reaching that next level because the one you're on has already ended. Either you can stay and play the same thing over and over and it's not even a challenge, or you can challenge yourself and go to the next level and become the better version of you. This last relationship hit me where it hurts tremendously. Whether it was within my PTSD from narcissistic relationships, whether it was in my inability to trust prior to this relationship, I gave and I trusted the way that I didn't want to, the way that I was afraid to, and it still failed. And what I'm learning from this particular relationship is that, one, I can trust. I can do those things. Two, I can love someone unconditionally. I can find happiness in myself, just loving someone else, not asking for anything in return, just loving them because they've earned that from me. Number 3, I can make it through the other side of that. When you love someone unconditionally and you no longer are together, you feel like you've given them a piece of your soul, something that I can't get back. It is now a blank void inside of me. And after the things that have been said, the way things have been, I will be lucky if I can even retain a friendship with this person. I would like to one day, but it is still semi-fresh and it is hard. It is incredibly hard to see them and not want to beat the sense into them that you have been amazing and that the same way you put the worth in someone else, you want them to put the worth in you. You want them to put the trust in you. You want them to fight through their things. You've bared your soul. You've given them everything there is to be the person they wanted you to be. To be the trustworthy party that they come home to and tell all of their day to and their secrets. And when you're not that person in return, you're only getting a portion of them. You're not getting the full effect. You're getting what they tell you, and you're trusting it because you trust them. You're trusting that their word is what they say it is. You're trusting that they're giving the same way you are. Because that's what we all kind of want, right? Is a world that has the same heart we do. We want friends that think about things the same way we do. The world isn't made that way. And the other person you just have to put faith in. When that faith is broken, there's no going back. There's no putting your faith back into that person, no matter how much you love them unconditionally. That is something that has to be earned back. That is yet another video. It is hard to find worth there. When you put your entire being into loving someone and they don't love you back, you question what you did wrong. You question what you could have done better. You question all of these things. I think that our brains are wired to ask those questions on purpose. It is not so that we could seek out our friends and badmouth the other person. It accomplishes nothing. I don't want to badmouth the man that I love so very much. I don't want that. Because obviously, since I love him so much, he's worth more than that. He is more than that. Do I feel he's making bad decisions? Of course, because I love him and I want to be with him. Of course I feel it's bad decisions. But that is just my opinion. And his opinion holds weight. And his opinion is that we do not belong together. And that is okay. It is. But we ask ourselves these questions so that we can grow from them. Where should I have gotten out if I had to wait for him? That things got so bad and I just waited. That's something that's wrong with me. That's not something he did wrong. If he didn't feel the need to want to talk to me, why did I stay? If he didn't feel the need to tell me what was really wrong, or tell me about all the skeletons in his closet and the demons that I presented to him of my own, because I wanted him I wanted him to love all of me, every bad deed that I've done, every good, everything, because it brought me to him. I wanted him to love me for that. I wanted him to love me for every little thing that was inside of me the same way I loved him. But I didn't get to know those demons. I didn't get to know those skeletons because he only showed me half a person. And I loved the half that I knew, and I wanted to know everything there was to know. I wanted to see everything there was to see, every facet, every mood, every facial expression. I wanted him to be my one. And I don't have that. But you know what I do have? I have self-worth. Because right afterwards, I took the time to analyze all of the things that he said I did. And I stopped and I asked questions. And I noted that isn't feasible in every single relationship, that afterwards you can sit down and talk about it. But if you can, I encourage you to do so. Sitting down and talking about it helped me understand how he felt. He could have better communicated those things to me when we were in the relationship, yes. But he had solid points. He had a reasoning behind why he felt the way he did, regardless of whether or not it was fixable in the relationship versus out of the relationship. The other person does have to have a willingness to be there. I had that willingness. I was there. I was present. I wanted to make things right, even if I wasn't the one who did everything wrong. I was still fighting really hard to make it right. But I did the work afterwards. I dug into myself and I found all the flaws, all the things that I did wrong. One of the things that I, quote unquote, did wrong was I didn't trust fast enough. I don't put a timeline on my trust. But I love that I dug to the depths of my soul, fought that PTSD, fought all of the horrible things that have happened to me in my life, so that I can love another human being. What I gave was completely selfless. And I didn't communicate that either. I didn't think I needed to after everything I'd been through. I thought he understood. In turn, I guess he thought I understood his side. Things happen. It's water under the bridge now. But that self-worth that comes with having that conversation afterwards, even if it's horrible. I know some people who have had conversations with their recent ex about things that they did wrong so that they could learn and grow from it. And it turned into horrible screaming and fighting matches, and it worsened the person's self-worth. But if you come behind it, there's something to be said for someone who can't sit down and watch you grow. If someone had love for you in any capacity, they should be willing to sit down and talk to you so that you can be a better version of yourself. It's not easy, but if they love you, they'll sit down and they'll do it. They will sit down and they will tell you how they didn't like it when you did this. And they might have had it all wrong in their head. And they never said a single word to you about it at the time. Or all they displayed was anger and aggression. But they may have had a reason or a feeling that led them to that. I'm not excusing excessive behavior. I'm not saying that aggression is okay. I'm just stating that after the relationship is over, it benefits you to have that talk with your partner, ex-partner, whomever, friend, about what led them to that conclusion, what led them to that space, so that you can either avoid it in the future or fix whatever it is that is unavoidable inside of you, or accept whatever is unavoidable inside of you. There are things that I can't give up in my life. I am a mother. I dated someone who wanted me to just get a babysitter for my kid all the time. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. My kid is the light of my life. I refuse. And so I let him go. And I found a man who loved my little girl just as much as I thought he loved me. And that is part of the hard aspect of this, is dealing with a child that wants to know where he is and why isn't he talking to us. It is hard. It is incredibly hard. And he's made great efforts to show her that it is not because of her, that he cares about her very much. It is just as hard on him to walk away from such a beautiful little angel. But self-worth, self-growth, those go hand in hand. When you grow from these things, you will find I might be shattered inside at what has happened. I am utterly shattered. But when I am shattered, I am nothing but breaks and cracks that take that light and let it shine outward again. Doesn't mean I want to stay shattered, but I know how to project that light outward. These videos are a prime example. I like for people to know that there's light out there, and it doesn't have to always come from within you. When you're in your darkest times, the light you usually find is within you. It is never from an outside source. They can show you how to find your own light, but you essentially have to crawl out of the darkness yourself. How you grow from that is what feeds the flames to your self-worth. So I urge you, break yourself down, build yourself back up, become a better version of yourself, love who you are in the entire process, put together a support system that works for you. Doesn't matter if you are freshly out in the world with no family, no friends, no nothing. Get on Kick groups, Facebook pages. There's support there. There's always someone who will support you. You don't have to go through it alone, but you will have to do the work alone. You will have to be the one to tackle your inner demons to the ground and figure out how they fit in your life. That is the most important thing you can do for yourself, is grow. Don't get stuck. Don't play the victim. Don't go round and round on the freaking hamster wheel. Be who you are, but be a better version of who you are in the end. Be the person you are always meant to be. Shine brighter, be kinder. live that stress-free life. Be the person you were supposed to be. The person that whatever the universe, God, whatever deity you pray to has made you into. This is for a reason. It is to help you grow. It is to help you learn. And our brains are pre-wired to think, you know what? Why did this break? It's not to question it. It's not to stay depressed. It is to learn and grow and use the full capacity of what our brains can take. We use 11% of our brains, 13 at max. What is the rest of the brain for? Don't be somebody who uses only 11% of your brain. Be somebody who uses 13% of your brain or more. Break it open. Be different. Dare to defy what your family and friends have thought of you. Be who you want to be. Give yourself the time, effort, everything that it takes after a relationship breaks to fix who you are and be a better version of yourself. You are worth it. It doesn't matter what was said in a relationship or at the end of a relationship when things go terribly wrong and things are said in anger. Be who you're supposed to be. Be the person you can love. Be the person you can live with. Be the person that can put their head down at the pillow at night and go to sleep without any regrets. Fight through everything that defies you being that person. Be the person you are supposed to be. It is hard. It is not easy. It is lonely a lot of the times. I walk a very lonely path. I have many, many friends. None of them have walked in my shoes. None of them have dealt with 2 cancers, 2 rapes, multiple narcissists. Being a mother, being a student, being a full-time employee, being, someone's sister, someone's daughter, the love of someone's life. There are so many titles that can describe me, but nobody is in my shoes. Nobody has to go to bed at night and hear the thoughts in my head besides me. If those thoughts are thoughts I can't live with, there's a problem. Be the person you want. Create the life you want. Challenge yourself to go outside. I forget how exactly my favorite quote goes, but it deals with remember that when things get hard, the outside world is going to see a seed that breaks itself open to create this beautiful flower as nothing other than destruction. Whereas the people who go through breaking themselves open and becoming this beautiful flower, it is self-growth. It is beautiful. It is transforming. And people who are still in a seed will never understand what it's like to grow outside of that seed and become who they are meant to be. Break the seed. Find a way out. And grow and be the best, most beautiful, most gothic, eloquent, shiny, amazing, spectacular, glittery, whatever adjective you want, flower that you can be. Do not be fragile, though you'll have fragile moments. Be strong, have conviction. Remember who you are. You are important and you matter. You're worth it. Y'all have a good night.